Hi, welcome to class. We're the only two right now, but the other ones will show up eventually, right? I hate my life. I hate my life. A Professor Sunreis Productions! Hello class, Professor Sunreis here. In today's class, we're gonna take a look at another replay analysis of Brave Virtual with his Danger Tearlements. Probably the deck to beat right now. Definitely a very interesting deck with no handships whatsoever, but a shit ton of gas to break boards. Definitely a very good matchup for us going first because they basically have next to nothing to stop our Cyflock if we play around it accordingly. So game 3, if we are able to go first, we are basically free to win because the only way they can beat our Cyflock is with Huffin's Mill 2, which is very unlikely, or a Super Polarization, because they can get rid of Barone and Crystal Ring, for example, or if we don't have a Siphon or Graveyard already, they can use Beatrice and Dawn Dragster, but even then we still have a few disruptions here and there against them, so definitely very interesting and makes me think that Brave Virtual is not the worst pick right now. Then again, it's very die roll dependent. Breaking the board is kinda hard, especially because we are low on defensive cards. Anyways, hope you guys will enjoy this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave some feedback down below in the comments. And before we go into the replay, huge shout out to my girlfriend for making this amazing new profile picture for my channel. Hope you guys like it as much as I do. I don't have a pair of glasses, but I feel like I'm the anime guy which likes... So, let's get right into the replay. So here we are in the replay. We win the rock, paper, scissors against Wheel 21 with just one L. I don't know, 41, where this 40. The opponent is on Dark Ruler, Super Polymerization, Sulik, Huffins, and Rhinoheart. And we drew Janbu, Emergency Teleport, Draco Bag, Kvinglong, and Enchantress. This is a very bad hand. It basically dies to one disruption on the Enchantress. Good thing we are up against Tearlements, a deck which plays next to no disruption, apart from maybe an impermanence in the main deck. So we are free to combo off, and this is actually pretty much full combo without any disruption. So, Enchantress effect, get the Rite of Artemisia, get the Adventure, of course. We go for the Adventure here to get Draco back, get Kvinglong into the graveyard, most importantly. I already did also the Draco back in the hand. You gotta love to see it. We do still go for a Griffin here because while the main combo probably doesn't want to get the Griffin out because you'd rather just extend into a Barone with a Coral Dragon and maybe get a draw while you do it, we still kind of want to protect ourselves from any sort of disruption. So Griffin is definitely the correct pick up in my opinion. Yeah, so this is definitely very interesting here. We have a very bad hand, and the opponent has like 2 auto-win cards basically in the meta, and then like a very good amount of what's it called? Engine. But then we have just so many cards to just a very interesting way to play around those, and I'm gonna showcase you how. So we activate the Emergency Teleport, get a Neon, use the Kvinglong, pitch the Janwu, which is definitely very important to pick up here. Pitch Janwu, Lulu on the Neon, send actually in this case a Chucha and add a Kaloon, just because if we have nothing else here, we go for Charge Warrior, draw 1, and then use the Janwu to revive these 2. That way we can still go into a Barone with one of them, and then Chucha on the other one and go into a Beatrice and still have full combo essentially. Not just any follow-up, but then we have the Beatrice to send one Kvinglong in the graveyard, hopefully, and then we have a full-on combo plus follow-up, at least to some degree. So Charge Robber draws into a Lily, which of course feels good. You gotta love it. And now we use the... And by the way, no Huffins from the opponent, because it misses timing here. No, it doesn't actually miss timing, right? Why didn't they use it there? Interesting. Maybe they didn't want to showcase what they're playing. Definitely very interesting. So we decide to send Kvinglong and GG here. GG just because we can, so that we maybe have access to it next turn. I thought it would be kind of interesting for a Laulau play potentially. Not really something you definitely need. So now we Janwu on Lulu, pitch the Draco back, then get the Neon out, and now we can turn those into Beatrice, and we even get the full combo with the Dawn Dragster still playing around super polymerization here by having Hard Drawn Brave Engine, of course, so that we can use the Beatrice to send Scythe in our own turn. We actually go for a Changing here to play around the super polymerization on the Beatrice. Definitely not needed. I don't know why I did it here. Honestly, I think. Yeah, so there are points to be made here. Dawn Dragster is definitely not something which comes up a lot. And having the Changing here with the Snow in the next turn is definitely very helpful. So we set up the Snow here. This does play into Dark Ruler a little more, but then again, so does a Dawn Dragster. So at that point, it doesn't really matter, and Changing is just a better card. And, oh yeah, I think I wanted to recycle my Chuchet really high because I value that quite high at the moment because of all the Mystic Minds around here. So going for that is definitely very good. Then again, you could argue that having the Dawn Dragster out against the Mystic Mind is also very good. So anyways, in the standby phase, we use the Beatrice to send Scythe. Nothing too super poly on here anyway, so we use this Beatrice and into the deck, extra deck it is Scythe, summon, effect Scythe. There is nothing the opponent can do here. They can super polymerization these two, but that doesn't do anything. Might as well go for it. Okay, they don't. Main one. What do they go for now? Set 1, set 2. Use Jackalope. 5. This doesn't do anything. Another 5. Gotta love to see it. Gotta love to see it. A 1. So we hit the Huffins because I always go like 1 is next to the deck and then go on with that. They draw an Instant Fusion. Very good pickup. If they could summon from the extra deck, they just passed. Now we know what they're on. In end phase here, we pop the Changing. Protecting itself, of course. So we first have to protect, then recycle, I think. No, we first recycle, then protect. Because this first cycles, then it pops. It doesn't matter. We recycled Qinglong and Nian. And then we use Changing here to get rid of the back row. Forcing it out is really good. Just admitting defeat here. So now we know we're up against Tearlements. In the side, we of course prepare for that. Get in the Evenlies, get in a few ghost spells here and there, get in the Called by the Grave. They decide to go first, get in the Red Reboot, of course. We have Reboot, Kowloon, GG, Enchantress, Teleport. Insane hand. Really strong. And then they have Mothman, Merly, Crime, which is the spell Trap Negate, I think, and Monster Negate. Well, you can, okay. Instant Fusion and Huffins, so also a really good hand. So they decide to Mothman here. Hit the Huffins, summon the Mothman, draw a Shaylin or Shayrin, no effect of the Huffins, and then Shayrin here, getting rid of the Merly. Mill 3, hit a Cyclone, hit a Snow, definitely very good hits here. Now they have the ability to use Merly and Shayrin. Probably it's only correct to activate one here, especially if you have an Instant Fusion in the ready. So just Shayrin, yeah, that makes sense. Recycle this and Huffins. Also makes sense to recycle that. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. Go into Garura, and though here you have a Curious. Curious effect, chain Garura to draw 1, mill 1, and then mill 3. Draw into Merly. They haven't normaled yet, so they can still use that. Send a Swap Frog. Effect mill 3. Do they hit something here? Just the viruses. So at this point we were like, oh shit, is there a virus here? Our hand does not that good against the virus. Flip the Instant Fusion. Get the Kit Colors out. Effect Kit Colors, search probably just the Sulik or the other trap, what's it called? Yeah, Sulik. So no Meta Noise, which is definitely very good for us because we play way better into a Sulik than into a Meta Noise, but still Sulik is broken. So it's not like it's perfect. Kit Colors, get rid of itself, and Merly from Graveyard, mill 8, feel fucking great. Guys, you gotta love to see it, huh? So what do they mill? Nessie, Terraforming, Huffins, Sharon, Merle, Jackalope, Field Spell, Nessie. So they can trigger both Merle and Huffins as they haven't triggered them yet, getting them a shit ton of resources. Yeah, that's not good. You don't want to see that. So Huffins, big thing here from the opponent's part. Garura and Huffins into Mud Dragon and Merle and Kid Carlos probably into, yeah, the Drug of Stapelia. Now they can go into an Elf. Here I am asking the opponent to play a little faster because if you can see here, I think the opponent took pretty long for that, if I remember correctly. Sorry, let's see where the mill stopped at 12:51 and at 16:20 basically, so like 2 minutes or 3 minutes for just one mill effect. It's definitely way too long in my opinion. So Elf effect, especially because it's like quite a simple game state. Of course, the opponent does have to learn here and there, but in my opinion, you can play this a little faster. Swap Frog, Revives of the Elf, definitely a very interesting tech. People are going on with the Tearlements list, going for the swaps, just for the Frog engine, just because Elf is super accessible via Merle and just an hard-drawn Swap Frog. So it's definitely something you can pick up. Swap Frog also really good to pitch with the Rhino Heart with. So very good synergies here, and then most importantly giving an Omni Negate on the very fragile end board, fragile to evenly match, of course, cause like that, because having no Heart Negate just opens you up to evenly match. Even though the deck is still quite a good amount of layered disruptions, they have the Dweller, they have all sorts of different cards, so they definitely are not just auto losing to those. Set the Sullic, Dweller, Drug of Stapelia, Swap Frog, Elf can revive a Merle for a mill. Definitely not the worst, but also not the easiest board to crack. Draw for turn is a Lulu, so this is a very good hand. Dweller effect, we have no way to out that, so we are kind of stuck with what we have in hand. No Queen Long extension. We decide to use the Enchantress here first, because it trades very well into the back row, into the Drug of Stapelia. Can even force out a Snow to some degree, but most of the time it will just trade with the Drug of Stapelia and then give me good bodies to extend my plays with. They decide to use the Elf here on Merle, pretty preemptively. I don't know if you want to go for that, but they hit Sharon, Sullic, and Foolish, so they get a Huffins and a Fusion Summon on my turn, which is definitely not something you want to see, of course. And by the way, they probably want to do that so they have a Tearlements on for their one known trap. And then they go for a Kid Carlos probably. Sharon and Sharon go into Kid Carlos. Yeah, so now they have another trap. They can search follow-up. They have Huffins. They sent a Rhino Heart. Why don't you add this here? Anyways, we activate the ride. They decide to use Crime on that, which is perfect for us because we read here, we just activate Reboot. This is very good for us that they activate the Crime here first, if not for the Sullic, because I probably would have just rebooted the Sullic and then they could have crimed. And at this board state, the Sullic would have actually resolved. So now we get rid of all of the background. So now we only have to play around the Drug of Stapelia and a Huffins into a Fusion, which is definitely doable with this, I thought at this point. But these are just way too many resources, and you can't just even Zeus them because like all of them will trigger and then get additional value. So you have to play very carefully here. Activating the Emergency Teleport, get a Lulu out of the deck. No sense for Neon here because I kinda am forced to go into Barone kind of early here with the Brave Engine. So getting that Tuna out of the deck was better in my opinion because you cannot trigger Neon in the graveyard anyways. So here big thing, just activating Drug of Stapelia is the correct play because you don't really have a way to discard Drug of Stapelia apart from Coral Dragon, and then we don't really want to Coral Dragon any of these. These can't be targeted. This can just be run over. Coral Dragon doesn't do enough here. Drug of Stapelia gets hit by the Dracoback, chain it on the Lulu, make it level 1, which is definitely annoying, but it is what it is. Maybe you should have gotten on the kit colors, but then we don't have a Baron available to us because the opponent would just negate it. We still need to get rid of a lot of resources here. Lulu on the Chucha. I think on rest here they will Huffins because they think Lulu activates in hand, which it doesn't. I was just reading because I was like 99. I was 100% sure that it only activates on monsters. Yeah. So Lulu sent Qinglong at Lao Lao. We are still not good at all here. Can't even trigger. We can't even trigger a thing. Yeah, definitely the Dracobag was a misplay here. I forgot that I still had a Griffin Rider, so definitely don't activate the Dracobag here. But maybe, oh yeah, I think I valued the double Synchro 10 route pretty high, so I wanted these to stay on a good level so I can use them. So we can go into the Griffin Rider, use Lao Lao, get the Neon, get GG, and then we can go for another Synchro 10, but they still have the Snow, of course, which I forgot here in the replay. Definitely didn't forget it in the thing. Then we have to use Baron, then they can chain Huffins, and they can even just chain the Snow again. So this was definitely a loss at all points. It's just way too many resources. You need it evenly for those kind of matches where they have like so many disruptions, or just not even disruption, but so many cards. Because even if while the disruption was kind of low, they still had way too many cards. Just kind of pray here that the Huffins fails, and then they hit like 2 Tearlements again. I think they used the Sharon again, but Huffins just triggers Huffins. Yeah, so that's game. No point of playing there. But our biggest strength, of course, especially against Tearlements, is going first. Opening hand sucks ass. We have Janwu. Actually, it doesn't suck ass. It's actually pretty broken. Janwu, Sanctum, Prosperity, GG, Kowloon. And the opponent is on Bigfoot, Jackalope, Field Spell, Huffins, and Nessie. They always have Huffins, of course. We activate the Kowloon here. Our hand plays through 1 disruption if we use the Prosperity first and go for it, but me knowing I'm against Danger Tearlements, the deck doesn't run any hand traps at all, so I figured I'd just go for just skip the Prosperity and go for a draw route. Only risk is if I draw a Scythe here, but I figured I'd take that risk. I have good discards in Janwu, so I can play for a very resource effective way here. Only downside, like I said, is drawing the Scythe, so we use Qinglong here, add Lulu, send Janwu, Lulu on the Chucha, gives me Lao Lao and Qinglong into the graveyard. Now we can use Lulu and Gigi here to go for a Charge Warrior, go for the draw Scythe, which is fine, I guess. We still have like good discards, so now Prosperity turns into a follow-up, which is fine, and then we have still 2 discards we can use for our combo purposes, which of course is good because we have still Brave Engine and Janwu to go through. And Hard Drawn Scythe is actually not the worst, like I said, because it definitely plays around Super Polymerization. And against Tearlements, if I have playable hand and a Hard Draw Scythe, I'm super fine because it means I'm basically guaranteed to Scythe lock them. Lao Lao on the Lulu, summon the Neon as well, because level 3 got summoned, of course. Now we turn Lao Lao and Charge Warrior into that. Go for Beatrice, send Enchantress, effect Enchantress, get the right, of course. Very fragile board, of course, against Tearlements. Against Sprite, for example, I wouldn't do that. I would use the Prosperity, dig for a Brave Engine, dig for another Virtual World so that I can go for a Crystal Ring route, or can make an early Beatrice to force out a Nibiru or force out any sort of hand traps. But against Tearlements, like I said, you can definitely all in because they just play board breakers for now, at least. Adventure effect. Search a Griffin here. Discard Scythe, probably. Yeah, discard Scythe. Effect Griffin. Effect Adventure, get Dracobag, and we still have 1 discard, and even can keep the Dracobag here. I don't think we can extend with the Janwu though. So we just end on Baron and the Dawn Dragster, and set the Sanctum for like a bluff, I guess. Maybe they do something against it. Doesn't really do anything. Get the Lulu here and pass turn. Opponent does draw super polymerization for turn. Good thing we do have the Scythe already in graveyard, so we can play. So they're thinking here, they do decide to hit the polymerization. I don't know why they don't discard the Bigfoot here. Maybe they want to have it as like a big beat stick, but Bigfoot would force out the Baron here. So if they had super polymerization plus Bigfoot plus another way to interact with the engine, they actually would have had they would have completely outed our end board. They go for super polymerization with the 2 lights, go into the Muddy Mud Dragon. Then in Stamper phase, we use the Scythe to go into the Baron, to go into Scythe, of course. Effect Scythe Lock. Attack, the opponent cannot do anything. They do forget to activate Jackalope here. Not that it does anything apart from walling up. Still no Huffins on the opponent's part. In my turn, there was definitely an avenue to Huffins. I don't know why they don't do it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe they... then again, it doesn't really... Because we do have the Griffin, we can just always hit the Huffins in the thing which Huffins mills. And as long as they don't mill 2, we should be fine as always. But I don't know. Probably just want a Huffins there. Because you will get Scythe-locked if you don't. They use the Field Spell. Field Spell is always prime tutor target because it gets rid of like 2 resources in a sense. One the add and then the Field Spell on the field is definitely nothing to scoff at, especially under Scythe-lock. This is one of the few things where they can still put pressure on you in the next turn. Because of course they can fusion summon on your turn if you are not careful enough. So definitely keep that in mind. Bigfoot, effect Bigfoot here. Doesn't really matter what they hit. They do hit the adventure, but we have guaranteed follow-up in the form of Qinglong, Lulu, and Prosperity. So we are fine with adventure getting hit. Effect Nessie. At this point, I'm feeling pretty confident that we win this. There's nothing really the opponent can do. Draw Snow. Snow is one of the few things which could do something, but it's not in the graveyard, so it doesn't really do anything. Effect Snow. Run over the Scythe. Arguably, you probably just want to crush it in. If they actually hit the Chucha here and then got into the Snow and just ran over into the Scythe and get it into the graveyard, you have 5. You have 1 Snow available to you to play and stop my turn, which definitely could happen. Probably not with Prosperity because I can just dig for a Qinglong, a Khaldun, Emergency Teleport. Enchantress is not even Enchantress wouldn't have done it because even like an Enchantress or something would have done it. So yeah, at this point, this is just clean up. Nothing the opponent really has to do here anymore. We can just Lulu on the Chucha, get GG, send Qinglong, summon the Lulu, then use probably GG on the Lulu at this point. This is always want to go for send to trap. We have Chucha in the deck, so we can GG on that. Then go into Synchro 6, probably Juju here. Yeah, the opponent just decides to admit defeat. So that's been it for the replay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Brave Virtual definitely is a very interesting matchup into Tearlements. If you win the die roll, you're basically guaranteed to win unless they have Huffins and Mill 2 Tearlements, plus then a Super Polymerization or any of those swords. Going second against Danger Tearlements, it is quite hard. Board breakers, while they do hit them with all the lingering effects and like layered forms of disruption in the form of back row, Snow, Dweller, and then like big power monsters like Bomber Dragon. It can be kind of hard, but it's definitely not unbreakable. For example, if it had an evenly matched game 2, I definitely would have won, together with the Red Reboot, of course. But so yeah, keep that in mind. It's definitely not the end of the world right now for Brave Virtual, though I am gotta admit I am kind of peeking my eyes at a few other decks here and there, but I will definitely keep you guys updated on that. Hope you guys enjoyed this class. You guys are free to leave, do whatever the fuck you want in your life. Professor Sunreis out. Peace. Don't kill people though. That's not cool.